Hi guys, thanks for joining me again. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Anne, and on my channel I review foreign international content. Today I'm back to review Pachinko. We're in season 2, episode 3, chapter 11. And it's on Apple TV Plus. And episode 3 is interesting because now we find Sunja accepted. Obviously, they were quickly whisked away during her husband's funeral, cremation, which was kind of sad because they didn't even get a chance to be there for the whole thing. They're whisked away by Hansu and that driver, and obviously they're brought into the countryside because we know the Americans are about to bomb Japan, and you can see the planes just flying in, and he finds them this house. It's not the best. It's kind of been left, kind of like very raggedy looking, but he was like, I'll make it better. Don't worry. I'll make sure to bring you guys stuff. And they do. They make a home out of it, which was really nice. I just thought it was interesting about their discussion. Now, obviously, he knows she no longer has a husband. The husband has died. It's almost like Hansu is almost like, she's open. And the way she's like, look, you don't know me anymore. You think you know me, but years have gone by. I'm no longer that same girl, the person that you knew, okay? And the way Hansu is like, that's not true. And she's like, yeah, it's kind of true. In his mind, because he's always been watching her, he feels like he still knows her. But the way she's like, I'm no longer that girl, meaning I felt like she was almost trying to tell him, like, don't think that now because we are out here, I don't have a husband anymore, I'm a widow, that that's your cue to come back into my life. So I thought that was interesting. I also loved the discussion when obviously Hansu, knowing that Noah is his son, is kind of like building that relationship. He brought him like these magazines to read, and the way he's like, I just don't want you to read them. First of all, it'll help your language skills, but I also want you to read and get the meaning, the in-between meanings behind the reading, which was very interesting. And you can tell Noah is like, oh, I can't wait to read. He looks like a studious person who just enjoys that kind of thing, who just eat all that up. So I thought it was interesting. And then the next time he comes back, he's bringing them, I think, cookies, and now he has a kite and they're flying a kite. And she's worried. She's like, I think you're getting too close. And he's like, what's the problem? And she's like, I don't want him to find out. I don't want him to find out that you are the dad. The only father he's ever known passed away, and that's who he's always known. That's how I'd like to leave it as, right? Because can you imagine him feeling betrayed? Like, wait, he was not my father, and this guy is my father? Psh. And I'm not sure if we do get to that point, but that will be interesting if he has to find out, right? The other person that I found interesting was Naomi, and obviously she's trying to get gifts together to send to her husband, who obviously is kind of, I think, at war. And the driver, her and the driver, it's interesting because I feel like they're getting to know each other, and the way they're looking at each other, I'm like, like when he told the story when they were doing that whole stakeout, that was kind of fun. When he talked about his family and how the father died, and how that was very sad. So the dad has a land, and then when they re-registered the land, if anything was re-registered bigger, they asked for more taxes. And unfortunately, that's what happened to his dad's land. Instead of being given the correct measurements, it was made to sound like it was a bigger land than it really was. So then they asked for more taxes. They asked for more taxes. The father can't afford it because he can barely put food on the table. Now his siblings have to be sent away to other, I think, family members to raise them, and he can barely put food on the table. The love that his mom had for the father goes sour, like he says. And then we find out the father ends up losing the land anyway because he couldn't afford it. And one day he woke up and just walked into those fields that he used to own. And he must have killed himself. He walked out there to find his dad dead in the fields, and that's where he buried him. And at that point, he left home and really has struggled in life. So that story was very touching, even though she was looking at him like, wow, you've been through a lot. And then as she's walking to bring the goodie bag or whatever she had for her husband so it can be mailed, she saw him kind of by the lake or something, and she could tell he probably was being emotional just reliving all that happened to his family was kind of touching. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm wondering if there's gonna be some sort of a, romantic relationship there. So that'll be interesting. I also love that obviously we come to the present day with Sunja now as an older lady, having that discussion with that Japanese guy who's older and saying, hey, forgive my grandson, he didn't mean to blow up. And the way the older man said, no, he should. What that Japanese baker did to you was not right. That was, almost racist. He was using prejudice, and I'm glad your grandson said something. And then the way they're talking about how they grew up and the times of war and how hard that was, she feels bad that it's too hard for the grandson. And the way the older guy was like, well, we always feel like every generation should be better, but the truth is that's not the truth. Every generation is going to have a set of their own problems that they have to deal with. And, what can you do? That is just kind of like life. So I loved his perspective, kind of like talking to Sunja, like almost like, no, almost like you've done your best, and sometimes you just can shield him from the problems that life would throw at you, right? So I thought that was interesting. And then Solomon, obviously, I'm loving Solomon. First of all, Solomon having that discussion with Naomi, as far as obviously the friend, I think Tom Andrews, the white guy, is the boss. But he can definitely recognize that really Naomi should be running that place. She is the one who stays late. She works the hardest there. But because she's a woman, recognizing that Naomi would never be the leader of that company because she's a woman. And that was the reality then. They're not going to allow women to be the leader. And then obviously the discussion he's also having with Tom Andrews when he's like, you need to help me with this deal that I'm about to do. And the way Tom Andrews is like, you do realize the reason why I'm in Japan is because I got punished because somebody out there who worked under me filled out the wrong form. And it's almost like they don't care that it wasn't me. It was somebody who worked under me. I get the punishment, and that's why I'm in Japan. And he's like, but what do you want? What would you want? And he's like, I would love to see my kids every day. And then Solomon is like, then really what you're trying to say is you would like to go home. So do this deal with me and you get to go home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, wow, Solomon, that is very appealing. And then obviously talking to Naomi and saying, I see you. I see that you are the true leader of this company here. But I know that you never get the accolades that goes with it. But just to say that I see you, I think that's what Solomon did was great, was he showing them that I see you. Tom Andrews, I see you. You need to go home. Naomi, I see you. You are the leader. But we know because you're a woman why this won't happen. So anyway, I cannot wait to see what happens next episode, because as it ends, we saw the land has just got bought and the lady is leaving. And I can't wait for it to blow up on this company, right? So anyway, did you watch episode 3? What did you think about? Are you still loving it like I am? I love this show. It's so good. It's so deep. I love the story. It would be interesting to see if these two, they can rekindle their relationship. We'll see what becomes of that. I'm still asking what happened to Noah. Because in the present day, it's not Noah. It's the youngest son who is the father of Solomon, right? Who is Mozazu, right? Mozazu is the father of Solomon. So where is Noah? I want to know, where is Noah? Anyway, as usual, if you do like my video, give me a like, subscribe. It does help to support my channel. Join me. I will be reviewing Netflix shows, Love Next Door and Romance in the House. Those are so much fun to watch. So hopefully you're also watching those. But I'll see you next time. Deuces.